Can JavaScript developers both learn PureScript and be productive in it quickly? PureScript has a complex type system which is unfamiliar to JavaScript developers, and a set of abstract but powerful type classes that take time to master. So having covered up to Chapter 8 of the PureScript by Example booklet, I decided I would dive right into one of my JavaScript applications to see if I can start being productive at my current level, with the goal of transforming my application into a safer application. All right, we're going to be doing a PureScript takeover of a React app. So let me show you the React app that we're working with. So this is This is a inventory adjustment application that's totally contrived. The idea is it's all fake data. The idea is that with this application that you would load in some inventory information client side in the application, and you'd make adjustments one by one to like the quantity or the name or something, and then you'd submit them. Right, and so the status changes from like pending to done, and then you would, depending on how many you've tackled, you'd submit them in a batch. So we'll just kind of show a little bit what I mean there. Done, 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 and then we'll just change the name of this to widget F. Then we'll submit that. Boom. Okay, so we're going to do a PureScript takeover of this app because there are some bugs which I've introduced, and we're just going to pretend like we don't know where those bugs are and see if we, just by writing in PureScript, if we can solve some of these problems. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, so let's kill the app, and now let's install PureScript. So yarn add PureScript. Great. Then let's set up the development environment. So this is the package, Spago is the package manager and build tool. So we're going to go ahead and install that. Yarn add Spago. And then we need to initialize the application to get some of these files here, like dependency information and configuration. So let's do that. px spago init. Okay, so we've got a test folder and our Spago packages.dal and spago.dhal, dal, I guess. Great. Okay, let's go ahead and commit this. Let's do the Spago build first. Okay, so that's output an output folder and a Spago folder. We don't want to commit those. And test. Okay, so that we added this file which does nothing yet. Okay, let's go ahead and add the output folder to the gitignore file, and let's add the Spago folder. Okay, and we are ready to go. What's this Pure's REPL for? Oh yeah, this tells you what to import by default when you open up the REPL Spago REPL. So I think it imports Prelude by default. Okay, let's get out of that. And so yeah, let's commit that then. And we don't need to introduce the PSCI modules. Great. Great. Install PureScript and Spago. Great. Okay. Now, when we start, I wonder if there's a watch. Is there a watch? Yeah. Let's do. Basically, I want to install. I think we should probably install concurrently so that we can run the. We can do an application start and a Spago build for when we whenever we make a change to our PureScript files. We want to make sure that there's a build every time. So let's add concurrently. And I believe how you do that is actually how to use concurrently to run Spago in watch mode. For this. It'll figure it out. Great. Now does that work? Yarn start. Okay, seems to have worked. Great. All right, now let's take a look at our first bug. So we can adjust the widget to, widget D. We can adjust the quantity. Okay, but when you adjust the price, there's an error. And let's take a look at this error. So this is a runtime error. So let's take a look at the edit modal. And where is this error occurring? Doesn't say here directly, but and I think it's actually the inventory table. Right. So let's take a look. Let's just do some toFixed is not a function. And that's probably because let's log out what's in items. To do that, we'll have to, unfortunately, use an effect hook. Use effect and just do items. Every time the items changes, we want to see what's different. Let's hold up log items. Okay, yarn start. Okay, so let's adjust this and see what happens. So we adjusted the first item. And what's wrong here? So toFixed is not a function. toFixed is not a function of the price. So I don't quite see the problem because this is a number. I think it's operating on a string. So how can I get like, I want to log that out. I guess what I'll do is I'll do this. Return item dot price. Okay, so that is, now we'll do a type of. Let's go back and clear out all this noise. Actually, we probably could have just done this on loading. Let's add that back in. So it's a string. Long and short of it is it's a string. And so we have a number, and then we click, and all of a sudden it's a string. So that's a problem with types. That's because JavaScript is a dynamic language. It might be solved with TypeScript, but in our case, we're going to actually solve it with PureScript. So let's make a function that will handle this correctly. All right, so let's make utils API. So let's make something in the utils folder, and we're going to call it, what are we going to call this? Edit modal utils. It's maybe not the best name. Okay. Oh, look at that. It already helped us. All right, we want to create a function called, I don't know. It's not too fixed. It's like show. It's kind of like show is overloaded in display price. Okay, so display price. And we're going to say for all A. So A is going to be a generic. And then we're going to say actually, I think what are we going to do here? I'm tempted to use like a semi-ring, maybe. Semi-ring. Semi-ring A. So, caveat, I'm learning PureScript, and I've gone through all the way to chapter 7, but still learning it, so I'm still struggling with the syntax a little bit. But semi-ring, and then we're going to put a string. I basically want to handle like, okay, so I want to be able to, let's ask AI. I want a type, I could just ask right in line. I need a type definition that accommodates type of number and type string. Okay, so I can just do, okay. Interesting. Shoot. I need a display price type signature that handles string or number. Perfect. That probably, yes, that makes a lot of sense. We're going to use the either. Okay, so then we're going to say display price string either string number. Either string or number. I've never quite used the either like this. Let me go back to the documentation. How does that work? Either. First we gotta import data.either. Import data.either. And actually, PureScript either. We need to install this. So let's do a pure spago npx spago is, no, this is something that I do in my package.json, I think. Oh no, it's a spago. Yeah, this is a spago image. So PureScript either. Install. So let's go look at my packages.dhall. Oops. Either, good. Okay, so we've got either. So let's take a look at the either type. So left, right. Left string. Okay, so now we're going to do some formatting here, and then let's do display price number. And then we're going to do the num here. Okay. So if I want to take a number and number, yeah. So I'm gonna need AI to help me with like the syntax, basically. How to truncate how to truncate number to two places after decimal. Okay, so it's just a, all right, so import data.number. Now, do I need, is the number part of the prim? Okay, it's part of the prim, so we get it with prelude. Great. Look, it already gave it to me. All right, we're gonna have to fix that. looks like JavaScript, to num. Now, well, probably we should just convert string to number. It's going to be like a number like where's the information on how to convert that to a string? From string. Now that comes from which module? Number. Where can I get that, right? From string. I guess we'll just look this way. Data.int data.number. PureScript numbers, so I'm gonna have to install that too. Spago numbers. Okay, so then I'll get a just or a nothing. If I get, so from string, so case, from string, string of just num, then we want to fixed to num. Actually, what does to fixed do? Like, it probably can fail. To fixed. It lied to me. So we don't really have a way to do this yet. Let's just say, we're going to say, if it's a number, we're just going to say display price num. And if it's nothing, we're just going to return an empty string. Great. So if it's display number, so there we have sort of recursive definition, that's fine. And if we have a number, then we need to, actually it's a decimal. Decimal. To decimal lossy, to number. What's the difference between, so let's do number, double precision floating point, number. This might be embarrassing, but what's the difference between numbers built in PureScript that represents double precision floating point numbers? It's not precise for representing decimal values, especially for financial or scientific calculations. decimal type. String or decimal? This is probably embarrassing, but that's okay. Let's use decimals instead. So we're going to decimals. All right. This is really a string, so let's do string, string, string one. String one, okay. Decimal, okay. So now we have our decimal and we want to string or decimal? Okay, decimal to fixed. Yeah, now we want to do to fixed, 2 of decimal. Now does 2 fixed takes in an integer and a decimal and outputs a string without any errors. Okay. Now, okay, so now I have a feeling that this might be problematic because interfacing with JavaScript, I'm wondering if it's going to understand it as a decimal. Okay, well, let's see, okay? Let's see. npx spago build. Unknown type decimal. Oh. Import data decimal. Okay. Oops. Just nothing. That should work. Data.either. Cannot import just from data.either. It does not expose it. Oh, whoops. Left, right. Let's see if it complains about that. All right, whatever. Unknown constructor just. So we need import data.maybe. From string. Oh. Decimal. From string. Yes. Unknown type decimal. Yeah. But I thought I added it. Data.decimal, yeah, so I installed it. Data.decimal. Decimals. I think I need numbers. NPX Spago clean. No clean. Unknown type decimal. Why is that? Okay. To fixed. Also is from the decimal. What do you call this? Decimal module. Could not match. Decimal with either. Oh, this needs to be a. Can you do like a pure? Does that work? Probably not. So I'm lifting the string into which type? The decimal type? Does that work? Display price is either. No, I'm lifting the string into the. Oh, that's just going to. No, I can't do that. Because that's going to just be infinitely recursive. Hold on, from string is, oh, no, string 1 is a decimal. Oh my goodness. Decimal. Display price. Decimal. Okay, now let's figure out what's wrong with this. Yes, I do have to lift it in. So let's do a pure either string or decimal. Okay. Okay, I need to include maybe. So npx spago maybe. Install maybe. Okay, build succeeded. Now, what is my output and how do I include it? So let's take a look at, what's it called? Edit modal utils. Okay, so here's my here's my display price function, and it should handle all cases from, now let's use it, okay? So import display. Okay, great. So let's give this a go. Display price item dot price. All right, here we go. You attempted to import. Oh, okay. I need to add some context. Code base. How can I configure? Is there, first of all, before I spam AI, there's probably a sources. Is there a way to configure the output? There's gotta be. Output. Manifest.lock. That's not what okay. How can I configure Spago to output PureScript into source folder? I mean, otherwise I probably could just output it in the node modules. No. Spago to set the output path. Okay. So now we've got to basically figure out, how do I get this? Yeah. You can either move it inside of source or add a symlink to it from the project's node modules. Oh, yeah. Let's do that. So copy path. I have output in this. I have output this file. I need to symlink my PureScript outputs to the node modules folder. I forget exactly how to do symlinks, so I know it's like ln-s, but I forget which way it goes. Okay. That's fine. So how would I do this? Yeah. Okay. So then if we do node modules, we should see PureScript output. Okay, great. So let's go back here to our inventory table. PureScript output, edit modal utils. I think. Yarn start. Why not? Should be in there. Oh. Guess this output folder is failed pattern match. Okay, so it's not a number. Okay, so that's cool. Let's see what's going on. Let's see if we can resolve this. That's so cool. Okay, so I failed to pattern match it's not a string, it's a decimal. It must be expecting the number type. From string and to fixed. So data.number.format. ToString with precision 3. Oh, that's cool. So let's just do that. Let's do number. Num. And we need to do ToString with to format ToString with. Aha. ToString with format number fixed. Fixed to, and then num. Great. Does that work? From string. There's got to be a data.number. Yes. Produces a maybe number. Great. So this has been data.number. Okay, data.number. Import data.number from string. Neat. So that'll produce a just number like the other one. Cool. Okay, what's going on here? Okay, data.number.format. Data.number.format. I have to add numbers again. Okay, so let's do this. npx spago install numbers. Yarn start. Failed pattern match at edit modals. Number. Okay. Here's my current code. Here's the error. The error I'm getting. My integration looks like stat context, I guess. Inventory table. Inventory table. Oops. Inventory table. So, this is my first time trying to integrate PureScript into a project, and I only really have like a few hours of, basically halfway through the PureScript by example training book. So I really am a PureScript what's the word? Just not experienced at PureScript. Item.price. Why this happens. However, display price function in PureScript is supposed to either. Oh, it's expected either. Right. Okay. All right. So the integration point has to be an either. So like I don't want to make the change in JavaScript. I really just want to handle it in for all either string A. Update the display price function. If you want to handle the raw number of values directly, I do. Then so it's either string or it's an other type. So if it's just a number, to string with. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it didn't work. I don't really like the solution because I could have just done this in JavaScript. And I'm trying to show that we could handle this in PureScript. I want to handle this entirely in PureScript without importing entirely in PureScript without having to modify. Simply import the function. Import the function into the table.js file from the output PureScript file. Outputted. Okay, I'm going to copy this and then I'm going to analyze it later. So for all A, and A has to that's a constraint, right? Has to be showable, basically. So long as A is showable. Okay, display price input. Okay, case from string. Oh, interesting. So we show, so numbers and strings are, so numbers and strings implement, the prelude package, I think, implement the, let's just ask AI. do numbers and strings implement the show type in the prelude package module. Yes, both numbers implement the show type class in the prelude module. Okay, so that's why that works. So we have an input, we don't know what it is yet. From string show input. So if this is a number, then the show type class is implemented and it will show as a string. So we're converting everything to strings. And then through the show method, and then parsing from string into a number. So we're dealing with numbers. So if we get a number out of it, then we want to convert it to a fixed. We want to invoke this function, basically give it 2 decimal points. But if it doesn't succeed in being parsed into a number, then we just show invalids. That's a fine solution to me. But this is going to fail. Unknown constructor just. So just comes from string. From string is data.number. Okay, so then we need to do just, I think. Cannot import type just from data.number. Why not? Oh, maybe, sorry, it comes from the maybe. Import data.maybe from just a nothing from data.maybe. Why not? Just. Okay, so I've got some extra things in there, but it'll still build. All right, so let's handle, okay. What's going on here? First of all, let's remove our console.logs. You don't need this. We don't need this. Okay. So what's going on? All right. Does it need to be run? Call? It appears to be not invoked. It appears that display price is not invoked. Do I need to run it again? Show is not a function. Okay, just gonna have to go with it. Actually, Show is not a function. So that's something within the actually show is not a function. This happens because PureScript's show function is not directly callable in JavaScript. The error shows on a function indicates that the show function in PureScript is being called in JavaScript, but is not properly exported or invoked. This happens because PureScript's show function is not directly callable in JavaScript. Okay. However, when this function is compiled to JavaScript, the show function is not directly available, fixing the issue. Well, which do I want to do? I guess what I would like to do is convert everything to a string, I guess. All right, we're missing the maybe module. It's not a function. Okay, finally. All right, so if it'll say this is $7.99, great. Good. So that solves the issue. Success. So in long story short, though I am a PureScript newbie, now I'm not really super happy with the string converting to a string first before displaying the price. What I'd really like to do is like have it accept either a string number, sorry, a string or a number, a JavaScript string or JavaScript number. So that's what I'm playing around with now. And let's see what we've got. Failed to pattern match. Hit up model set number. correctly, yeah. So what do I do? Foreign? Okay. Data.foreign, that's new to me. Handle raw inputs in PureScript. Raw number or string inputs directly. You can modify the function to accept foreign type, which represents any JavaScript value. Dynamically determine how to process the input. That's what I really want. Case read number. Oh, yes, I like this better. Okay. At this point, I'm just going to accept the AI inputs. Data.foreign, we need to install that. npx spago install foreign. Install foreign. Let's take a look at this in pursuit. Foreign. Okay. Simple types. Okay. For value. Okay. That's nice. Simple types. Simple types. Example.util. Okay. So, yeah, I'm not really quite sure how to use that. Let's just take a look. Let's do npx spago build. Could just be my IDE not understanding. Foreign was not found. Okay, it's updated. Foreign is there. Well, what is it? Like, how do you access it? Module's just foreign, it's not data.foreign. Oops. Okay, unknown constructor right and left. So that would be from read number. So I imagine that comes from this module too, right, left. Okay, so right doesn't come from well, how does read number work? Let's take a look. There we go. So we're using read string and accept t. So accept t either data.either. Oh, either left or right. Right. Import data.either. Okay. Okay, and then we need a data.maybe for just, oh, what's going on here? It could not match type either with except t while trying to match either with except t. Okay. Okay, so what do I need to what is the type, I guess? While trying to match type either with except t. So obviously read number, oh, read number doesn't return either, it returns except t. Okay. But what does accept t? So it just like returns generic type. So read number. Okay, well, I'm going to get AI to help me fix this. Run accept. What is run accept? Run a computation. Oh. But run accept. Read number has a return type of except t. I don't know what to do about that. Correct. Read number is return, which means it doesn't directly return an either. Instead, it returns a monadic value that needs to be unwrapped. To handle this properly, you need to use run accept function. Okay, now we're getting into monads, and I had not covered that. So I thought I had gotten far enough to be able to do this without monads, but looks like we're getting into it. That's okay. We're going to just dive in and do it anyway. So run accept and run accept. Run accept. Okay. For now, I'm just going to blindly accept that until I get into monads. telling me I need transformers. Spago install no, I don't think so. Hold on. Control monad accept run accept. Oh, it is. Okay, transformers. Okay. Transformers. Okay, all right. Okay, there we go. So we took it a step further, and we basically just want a function that we can invoke onto the price. We can invoke with the price and really not have to do anything further in the JavaScript code. We basically just want to export a function from. We don't want to generate this function from PureScript and then just use it without having to with any further complication on the JavaScript side. So let me take a look at the output code because I'm curious to see. Okay, very, very safe. That's pretty interesting, right? You know, it's a fairly compact little function to handle, like, is this a string? Is this a number? And then to, you know, try to parse it. And, you know, in the case that if it's a number, we convert it to a string with a fixed amount of precision. And if it's not, then we try to run, we try to read it as a string. And if it's a string, then we convert it to a number and then convert it back to a string with fixed precision. So a little bit of back and forth there, but otherwise we're, you know, otherwise the number is invalid if it's not a string or a number. So that's really interesting. And so it's a small amount of code, 10 lines of code, very, very dense. But when you look at the output JavaScript code, it handles every possible case. That's the nice part about it, I guess. Yeah. Very, very cool. All right. I guess now I want to share my concluding thoughts. So can JavaScript developers both learn PureScript and be productive in it quickly? To answer that question, I'll have to tell you how much investment it was to get to chapter 8 or stop short of chapter 8 of PureScript by example. So at about 2 to 3 hours per chapter, representing about 14 to 21 hours of work. Working, reading through the booklet and working through the examples without any help of AI. I suggest that. So that's, a 14 to 21 hour investment. And then jumping into the code base to really kind of see if I'm ready. It took me about an hour and 15 in this live video to basically interface some JavaScript code, some PureScript code with my JavaScript code base, and output basically a string or a number into a fixed number. So can you do it quickly? Probably not. Maybe the better question is it worth the investment? And I would say yes, it is worth the investment. Number one, PureScript has some powerful. It's a Haskell-like language. It's very close to Haskell in its syntax and pure functional style and so on. So it's abstract, it's complex, but those complexities, I believe, will pay off those are complexities that are lacking in JavaScript. So is PureScript worth the investment? And I would say yes. It is worth the investment because it's a next-gen language. It has an extremely strong type system with a virtual guarantee of no issues at runtime. So we saw that in our React app. Because there's no strong type system in JavaScript, there was an error at runtime when trying to convert a number to with a fixed number of decimals. So we refactored that code. We put in PureScript, and because PureScript has an extremely strong type system, we were forced to handle each and every case, whether it was a string or a number, and there's no ambiguity and no issues at runtime. So that's number one. Number two is that by learning PureScript, which is a pure functional language, heavily inspired by, or very closely related to, I don't know if it's inspired by, but closely related to Haskell, you can learn other languages that are also pure functional. Like Elm is a pure functional language that has a more constrained type system, easier to learn, I would say. But having learned PureScript, you could probably jump over to Elm, no problem. Or you could imagine making the jump from PureScript to Haskell, I would say, without too much problem. So that's another benefit. And the third benefit I would say is that Elm inspired Redux. Redux is basically borrowing from the architecture of Elm, particularly the model side of it. Now, JavaScript is not a pure functional language. Elm is. So if you can go over and rewrite the Redux side of a JavaScript application, then you can bring over that same kind of pure functional style that's inherent in Elm. So you really are completing the spirit of the inspiration of Redux from Elm if you can write it in a pure functional language. So I think there's three good reasons why PureScript is a great investment. And even though it might not be something that you can both learn and be productive in quickly, it still represents a good investment, I think. If you haven't already, you can sign up to my newsletter, embedded in the description. Folks who sign up to my newsletter will get timely notifications of my videos as well as access to my personal email. Also like and subscribe to follow me on this journey. Bye now.